What's up, everybody? We're back with another $2 deck tech for 2DH format we created to have a new meta for Commander to make the game more accessible to new players and players on a budget. This is my Horde of Notions deck. It's the first 5-color deck I made. I didn't really want to build like 5-color good stuff, but this deck gave me an excuse to run enchantments across 5 colors and do things that I've always wanted to do, like all 5 Hondens and things like that. Horde of Notions is a really powerful general. He's got some built-in kind of auto-include cards that can give you a nice engine and card advantage in the late game. So what I like to do is take powerful generals, attach bad strategies to them, and see if I can Johnny my way to victory. Shriekmaw and Moldrifter are the cards I'm talking about. Since they're elementals, you can recur them for all 5 colors of mana, bring them back into play. You've also got these Shapeshifter tribal cards that meet this clause of being an elemental card as well. So Inversion and Crib Swap are really nice card advantage cards in this deck. You can just keep taking care of things that are trying to kill you. If you need to, Horde can just be a win con. When you need to clock your opponent, you just throw a couple enchantments on them, like Blessing of the Nephilim here, Shield of the Oversoul, gives them indestructible and flying, and people are just going to have a hard time dealing with this. So the deck has great flexibility in the sense that if I need to clock somebody, I can just put my general in play and start aggroing people out. Really, though, I mean, I built this deck to do things like bestow Chromanticore. I mean, who doesn't want to add 4/4 lifelink, trample, blah, 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 to whatever their best creature in play is? This card is just a ton of fun, and the fact that it's an enchantment just gives me a little bit more of an edge in the deck, as you'll see the sub-themes. Because my general has Vigilance, I can run cards like Meekstone that give me a really huge advantage over those aggro decks. They're going to threaten me in the early game. This is quite a slow deck. I love decks like this for multiplayer because you can play politics, you can dirtle around, and then before you know it, you've got an engine online and you can just start grinding your opponents out and find your way to victory. I'll go through the lands just real quick here because lands are boring. Right now I've got the Maze's End package in the deck because I would like to win with this just once, and then maybe I'll cut some of them for some pain lands or something faster. So I've got the complete suite of Guild Gates here. I've also got all 10 tri-lands in the deck, as you can see. We've got a few 5-color lands like Command Tower, Grand Coliseum, Wilds. My base colors, green and blue there, so I've got a couple of the Scry lands in there, one of each basic, and then a few more forests and islands to round out the package. The ramp you can achieve in this deck is really insane, so I've got a nice little pile of ramp and card advantage I'll go through, the enchantment package, and some of the more unique or powerful cards in the deck to finish it off. So Bring to Light, as part of the inspiration, were these Converge cards. This is a really sweet card. It can get just about anything out of your deck that's not an enchantment to help you with the situation that you're in. And what I love about the 5 colors is it's very flexible. So just whatever the situation presents, you can usually tutor up an answer or find a way to get later in the game. What I prefer to do, though, is cast Urban Evolution off of it. This is just one of my favorite cards. Refills your hand, lets you get another land drop in play. A lot of my lands are tapped, so I need as much of this as I can get. There's some really sweet 3-color cards out there like Beck Call. This is fantastic if you can cast it for the full 8 mana here, because it's going to give you a bunch of defensive blockers for later, and it's going to refill your hand. Recurring Insight makes perfect sense in this deck, and oh my god, we found a use for Soul of Ravnica, the 45-cent bulk mythic here. This card's actually quite reasonable in the deck because fairly often I discard it, and sometimes I do just need an extra creature for whatever reason. So when we're getting that kind of a board stall, the 7 mana to draw a bunch of cards, I mean, if I have my general in play, it's 5, obviously. It's actually a pretty good effect. So 6 mana, here he is, we're getting value. You got a couple obvious cards like Commander Sphere, Thought Vessel, and then I only run 4 of the signets just to kind of support my base colors. I've got the Tribe Elder, Pilgrim's Eye to go get a land, and then you got Rampant Growth, Explore, Cultivate. Read the Bones, really nice little extra card draw card in this deck. It's just really solid with the Scry. And Guided Passage, not a card you guys see a lot, but it helps out. I mean, a lot of times I've got, you know, just something reasonable that my opponent's going to have to give me. And this is also a really nice little political card. So if you and a buddy are behind and someone's taken over the game, you just choose that opponent that's your friend, and they give you the answer, and then you stop whoever's running away from running away. Get yourself back in it. All right, here's the sweet spot here. This is what I've always wanted to do. all 5 Hondens. I'm just a huge fan of enchantments. I'm a sucker for them. They're oftentimes the least removed permanent, right up there with artifacts. So unless somebody's got a Bane of Progress, I just love dumping a ton of enchantments into play. I don't really run counter spells in this deck because 5-color control is not something I'm super interested in. I'd rather be trying to do something. Things like Sultai Ascendancy just give you great card advantage. Rites of Flourishing is kind of the only group hug card in the deck, but I found it to be a necessary evil just because the deck is so slow, and it doesn't always get blown up when you use it. If it does get blown up, you at least get an extra land into play. Into the Wilds, one of those really bad, dirtily cards that I'm running it just because it's really funny when you get value out of it. I'm a Johnny, what can I say? It's an enchantment deck. Monastery Siege, Outpost Siege, and Citadel Siege I feel like are the powerful ones for this deck. Giving you the extra draw discard helps fill up your yard for Horde of Notions activations. And then Outpost Siege, I mean, I can usually cast anything, but just helping you hit your land drops with that Exile and Dig for answers, a really great card. Eidolon of Blossoms, obviously, we're an enchantment deck. Future Sight's just one of the best cards in the format, helps grind out games. Animate Dead, just a nice little recursion effect. Why wouldn't you run it in an enchantment deck? And we've got a nice little pile of answers here. So I got O-Ring, Stasis Snare is one of my favorite new cards. Also really sweet to get that Constellation effect or Sigil of the Empty Throne effect at instant speed from Stasis Snare. Control Magic, just a good stuff card. Spreading Plague is one of those cards that just really can slow the game down when you need to. It also makes my general a board wipe, which is really nice because I'm oftentimes not crafting the game around my general. I'm crafting the game around the rest of my enchantments. So even though my general is also going to get blown up when the next creature comes in, it can just get you out of a bad situation, and it's just an all-around super powerful card. Citadel Siege is the other siege I've got. I would normally use the tap effect there. Sigil and Sphere of Safety makes sense in this deck, obviously. And then Dueling Grounds, really powerful Silent Arbiter effect here. Oftentimes people have to read this card and go, oh, I didn't know this existed. So this is a really sweet Selesnya card if your Selesnya deck is trying to do that, or your 3-color deck or 5-color deck. And then I've got the Chimera in there. This is kind of a dangerous card, but I mean, I just love enchantments and I love stupid things like this. So he's in there. Sometimes you can play a little politics with him. Sometimes you can destroy him or take him back before your opponent can get any value out of him. You've also got some really bad cards in here that are just freaking awesome in slow decks that can get them going, like Bringer the Black Dawn. If you can just get this out, you're just tutoring up whatever you need. I don't run a lot of tutors in the deck, but this guy is just a machine. So I really I wanted to build a deck so I could run some stupid cards like this, 5-color jank. The charms are very powerful. In the right deck, I mean, Abzan Charm, Bant Charm, Sultai, Teamer, they give you so many choices. I can draw cards, I can destroy enchantments, I can fight. It's one of the only counter spells in the deck, actually. Destroying artifacts or creatures or getting rid of creatures, putting them on the bottom of their library. I mean, these are just really sweet utility cards that can just help me hit that pinpoint spot where the game is not going to go my way unless I have that effect. And having access to all of these charms with things like Bring to Light, it's just really awesome. Makes the deck really powerful and flexible and helps me get there, you know. Utter End, just another one of those beautiful little gotcha cards. Just gets rid of whatever your problem is. I hate to see this card played against my enchantments. It happens quite a lot. Another Converge card here, not as powerful as some of the other ones, but still pretty sweet nonetheless to just have another permanent control magic effect in play. And then we've got a Dirtle a little bit, so I put a few Wraths in there. Again, you can get these with like Bring to Light or whatever. Just a way to kind of dig yourself out of that early aggro hole that you can get in when your deck's playing a lot of tap lands and slow cards. So got to have a little good stuff in there. Got to be flexible. Got to get to the late game. Merciless Eviction, just another one of those cards. It's just super powerful, busted, 5-color, good stuff card. Jared's Orders works real well with my general because I can put Mold Drifter in the yard or Shriekmaw in the yard or whatever it is so I can recur them later, and then I can go get whatever creature is going to benefit me the most at that time. Another slow card, but the payoff is there. Restock and All Sun's Dawn really help dig the deck out. and get things going again after I've been targeted with heavy removal spells. Obviously, it won't work on Exile, but a lot of the times it's just destroy spells and things like that. All Sun's Dawn is just a beast. I mean, 5 mana, get back 4 or 5 cards that are all good. Sometimes I'm getting back those charms and card draw spells and ramp spells, and I just really, I mean, makes it so much easier to get to that late game when you can bring back your board wipes and things like that with these cards. So here's a couple pet cards here to round out the deck. We've got Legacy Weapon just as a finisher when we're really in that board stall state and there's not a lot going on. I mean, Legacy Weapon is just a powerhouse. You just take out whatever's threatening you. Very expensive, very slow effect, but very fun to play. And I'm a Johnny, so what can I say? I want to make them work. And nothing makes me happier than a Villainous Wealth for 18 to finish off the game. Is another one of those cards that just really pulled me towards making a 5-color deck. So hopefully you got some inspiration here from some of these cards. Hopefully I'm showing you guys a couple new cards that you're not used to seeing. This is my 5-color enchantment, kind of good stuffy, dirtily deck that has a couple of silly win cons, but oftentimes I just have to Horde of Notions people out. So if you want to check out $2 Highlander, there's a ton of sweet deck techs that are linked below this YouTube page if you want to keep watching. We've got a Facebook group you can join in the links below. There's also access to the full deck list. So we're local to Card Kingdom. If you're in the Seattle area, come check us out. Thanks for watching, you guys.